But Syracuse realized it still had time to do something about it, and it did, and that's why these fans behind me are still roiled up, knowing that Syracuse is up 3-1 going back to Toronto. Jabba Chamberlain's first start in pinstripes was more Jabba the Hutt than anything. Dull, stagnant, and at times just plain ugly. The special guest will arrive in a convertible here on the corner of Jefferson and Salina, and then they'll walk an orange carpet right into the theater. You're talking about Marcus Stroud, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
They say he weighs 310 pounds. I'm going to take the over on that one. And one of the balls he hit went all the way down one street, then went into oncoming traffic and another street. Definitely a great show. Goodman's always been a force for the brothers, but ever since he got his spring back in his step, more and more colleges have started to take notice. Maybe we have some potential. We'll see how it plays out. I just want to know why Julie doesn't let me wear suits like this anymore, but it's Friday night. I'm doing what I want.
Rishi, what was the mood of the guys afterwards?
It was not good, Kevin. You would expect it to be that way, and certainly the players all had their heads down. And this was a game that turned in a hurry. A lot of that had to do with 65% shooting from Villanova in the second half. But that 8-0 run that you mentioned earlier was the key that gave the Wildcats new life. So it does look like it's almost certain that the NIT is what's next for the Orange. They'll start worrying about that once Selection Sunday is done. Right now, though, just a lot of heartbreak for a young team and countless SU fans. Reporting from the Garden, Rishi Barran, CBS 5. Back to you, Kev. Above the field where the Auburn Babe Ruth League teams play, a superhero keeps watch.
Now batting the pitcher, number 4, Andrew Sanders.
His bat cave is known as Dan's Den.
Never met anybody like him.
His Batmobile runs on manpower. It's also the source of his nickname.
I see him riding around on the streets while I'm going by in the car on his bike. I wave to him.
Meet Biker Dan.
That's kind of stuck right with him. He rides his bike everywhere.
I'm no superhero, but I'm just doing what I can.
Alter ego Dan Edkin has announced the games and kept score here for the last 21 years.
Sitting off with Giuseppe's Pizzeria.
He's known for his voice, impeccable handwriting, and most of all,
And if it's raining, if we cancel games when he's already here. The field wasn't ready, but Dan was. Dan was ready.
They don't call Dan the Cal Ripken of announcers for nothing. In 2002, while riding his bike, he got into an unfortunate accident. So what'd he do? Well, he got there in the booth and announced that same day.
I kept riding. I didn't think I was hurt that bad until I discovered I felt a sharp pain.
Dan fractured his elbow, but working through it was just one of his heroic deeds. Edkin once rode his bike 30-plus miles from Auburn to Syracuse just to watch some All-Stars play. How tired were you when you made it there? Man?
I was a little tired, but I got there eventually.
The press box is now named in Edkin's honor, but you have to look elsewhere to truly recognize his contribution.
The bike symbolizes his commitment. You know, I don't know many people that would, work at their regular job all day and then ride their bike and, be here and do the job that they do for 2-3 games in the evening.
After all, there's only one Biker Dan. Rishi Barran, CBS 5. Welcome back. We're live at the Carrier Dome where the SU men's hoops team hosts Seton Hall tonight in its Big East opener. The Orange trying to build off an impressive 12-1 start, and they'll get a chance to do so at full strength. That's right, Eric Devendorf back with Syracuse after serving a suspension. He will play against the Pirates, at least according to Christoph Ozenhot. It'll be Jim Boeheim's 30th Big East opener. That's a record, and he's the only head coach still around since the first season of the conference. The challenge at hand tonight, beating the scrappy 9-3 Seton Hall Pirates with a positive performance. The SU players like where they're at coming into this game, and they're relishing the challenge too.
We weren't picked to go anywhere this season, so we're picked to finish 8th in the Big East. So to come out and make a statement like this and beat a bunch of ranked teams and have great road wins against ranked teams, we put ourselves in great position for the Big East, where we're going to play teams that are much better than the ranked teams we played already.
Devendorf is here back in uniform. Start. Coach Boeheim isn't saying he's ready to play after being suspended for the last 2 games. Syracuse won both without Devo, who was suspended by the SU Judicial Board for an altercation with a female SU student. But having their second leading scorer back in the lineup should provide a big boost, and his teammates are looking forward to it.
A totally different team with him, a scorer, a penetrator like he is, his heart, his tenacity, his will to win out there, sheds on to everybody. So to get that back, you always want that back.
Steve-O and the Orange tip off about 40 minutes from now. Well, Jim Boeheim Court here has already received quite a workout today. The SU women wrapping up their non-conference schedule against the Princeton Tigers. And the Tigers giving Coach Q's team all it could handle early on. With about 6 minutes to go, Laura Johnson going for 3 and putting it in for Princeton. The Tigers pull within 2, but SU star Erica Morrow was stopped once, but gets her own and puts it home. Syracuse goes up by 7. Erica had 21 on the day. And then her own 2 cents, 19 on the game for Jones. SU survives another scare, 70-61, but Coach Hilsman wasn't happy with the way his team played.
We can't depend on Erica or Sean or Slinky bailing us out every night, because in some nights it doesn't happen and you lose because we're not doing a good job on the other end of the floor guarding the ball and rebounding the basketball.
While the Mayor's Round Ball Tournament trophy will be handed out tonight, it'll be Henninger and Fowler in that boys basketball matchup. The Black Knights have won the last 2 Mayor's Round Ball tournaments. Let's go to some more high school hoops going on today. Auburn and Beeville fighting it out. Maroons on the break. Nice dish from Malcolm Bryant to LaRon Agee for 2. Auburn by 4, and later Bryant does it on his own. Nice take here. Auburn wins 68-53. The Bees hoping to fare better in the girls' consolation game against Onondaga, and Tigers had to play catch-up. Nice fake and drive here by Kayla Murray. Onondaga, though, still down double digits. Beeville would keep it that way. Maggie Monick, the strong finish and 1. Beeville wins convincingly. And finally, the Buffalo News is reporting that Bills coach Dick Charon will find out if he's coming back for another year on Wednesday. Bills owner Ralph Wilson says he and management will meet the next 2 days to decide Charon's fate. Charon had reportedly signed a contract extension during the season, but the Bills lost 8 of their final 10 games and missed the playoffs. And perhaps Buffalo would be interested in Mike Shanahan. He was fired by the Denver Broncos today. That's sports. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Let's imagine for a minute. You've just lost one of the best players in the league, John Grant Jr., for the year to injury. So why not call Gary Gait, the greatest of greats in lacrosse, to fill his place? Well, Gary's 41 years old and has been retired for 3 years. But that didn't stop Gait from coming back. Gary and I had a nice chat about it in a CBS 5 exclusive. He used to be twice as good as his he still is, but now he's twice as old as everyone. You heard me right. Gary Gait is returning to play pro lacrosse.
I started to laugh because I didn't think he was serious, and then I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, for real.
Gait never considered playing again after retiring. He was too busy to think about it, first coaching in Denver, and now with the SU. His old friend, former SU player Reggie Thorpe, came calling with the gig in Rochester. Gait's answer was yes.
It's a personal, physical, mental challenge for me, and I look forward to that.
For Gait, it's the perfect situation to prove he's still got it. The league doesn't take up a lot of his personal time, and Rochester's proximity to Syracuse makes his commute easy.
It's nice not having to travel 3/4 away across the country to play, and that was really a big reason why I retired the last time.
No one should worry that the SU women's lacrosse team will suffer with Gait back in uniform. He won't miss any time with the team and actually thinks his return to action will be beneficial for his players.
And it gave me a chance to demonstrate a lot of the things and characteristics that I, preach to my players.
That's a bonus. Gait's primary reasons for coming back: it'll be fun and it'll renew his love of competition. Yes, even the greatest lacrosse player ever can prove something to himself.
That is the challenge, to go back out there and not just be an average player. And, I've never been down that road before, so I don't want to go there.
The toughest thing is getting his touch and stick work sharp again, not the physical test. Gary says his conditioning is better than it's been in years, due to the fact that he has an end goal to motivate himself again.
I think he's hoping that he'll get out there and still shine and be the Gary Gait that he was, and I truly think he will be.
The Gary Gait he was has been called the Michael Jordan of lacrosse. Comparison back for another reason.
I guess he retired and came out of retirement a couple times, but I can tell you this will be my last time out of retirement.
Hey, the man's 41 years old. One comeback is plenty. And his kids are very excited to see him play. They saw him play before, but not a lot. He will be back on the field on January 10th in Rochester. Last year, Andy was recovering from knee surgery and couldn't play. This year, it's two other SU players spending game day in street clothes. One, the injured Scoop Jardine. The other, Wes Johnson, a transfer from Iowa State who has to sit out, but could be one of the Orange's best players in the next 2 years.
You'll see him on the bench at games or dominating at practice. Most Orange fans know that 6'7" forward Wes Johnson is a transfer who will play for SU next year. But who is he really?
Who is Wes Johnson? I really would say he's a very versatile type player, rebound a lot, and really get up in the open court and make plays and knock down open shots.
For now, all we can do is take his word for it. Johnson played 2 years at Iowa State, averaging more than 12 points per game in each season. Then he decided to transfer to SU in June due to what he calls a fallout with his coach. But when you transfer, you have to sit out a year.
He added me a whole lot. Sometimes I just can't stand sitting on the sideline watching. I just want to get out there. I'd rather play in my street clothes and just sit on the sideline.
Instead of worrying about it, Wes is working on his game and building relationships with his new teammates.
I was kind of worried that I wouldn't really just fit in, but I think they took me in with open arms, so I feel like I'm in with the family now.
And on the practice court, he looks like one of the older brothers out there. Johnson may not get to play on game day, but other day of the week.
When I go out to practice, I'm just going to try to make these guys better, try to help them, try to go out there and what the aspect they need to be working on in practice. So I just looked at it as me working on my game in practice and just having fun.
Some days, like, we have a game and guys be like tired the next day. No, Wes gonna come off the gate and pick it up and everybody ready to play after that.
Which would be better this season if he was in the lineup. He feels his long arms and leaping ability would help improve SU's defense and its rebounding. And Johnson's not afraid to call himself the best dunker on the team, even better than Paul Harris.
We on oops to me, so it's going to be a lot of oops going around. I just can't wait for it.